Good evening. It is February 23rd, 2016. I'm Jacob,
And I am still Danielle.
and we are the Proteus Podcast. Ideas in all shapes and forms.
Including hexaparallelograms,
Hex.
which I just invented.
Yeah, I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. It's late and I am tired.
Why are you tired?
I don't know. I had a good day today.
You had a good day?
I'm vaguely tired, though.
Good days can be tiring.
Yeah, you know.
Matter of fact, some would say the best days are always tiring.
Probably right, too. I was going to argue against that for a second there, but then I realized that I was probably wrong.
What did you do today that was good? Was it just an easy work day?
Yeah, just a simple enough work day. It's the problem is, and those of you who have normal jobs will be completely confused by this. When you have to work until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it really starts to drag on. And the reason that is because normally I start work at 6 a.m. or earlier and am finished with my shift by 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So on a normal day, come noon, it's almost time to go home.
Right. But
and so on my other days, come noon, it feels like it's almost time to go home, and you're not even halfway there.
And you're like, no.
Well, you are halfway there, but the point is, it drags on in the afternoon.
You know, for me, it's like I hit the point where I normally get off work, and my mind just wants to shut off.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, I don't care. I'm not supposed to be here now.
Very often the result is, I stopped listening because I don't care.
The answer is, in your case, it's next to the biscuits. And then
it's
you
next
off.
to the biscuits. I'm going to have to do that to someone I know. That way I don't get fired.
So, funny things to say in the service industry. I go to this bar/restaurant every week before Dungeons and Dragons, and we do their happy hour, and their bartender is this guy named Hank, who looks like he should have retired 3 times since yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And the restaurant rotates their menu every week, every quarter. And they choose like a different location, and then they do a menu around it. Right?
A different
they
location?
Have their staples. No, like they just did Vermont, so they had the food of Vermont.
Oh.
And before
or if
that,
they were more international, maybe the food of the Mediterranean this quarter or so. I get it now.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. Like 3 times ago, it was somewhere in Greece. And the time before that was this really bizarre country called Texas.
What a weird place.
They cater the food to. Yeah. Weird place. But Hank is an interesting fellow. And this person came in and was like, "Excuse me, can you tell me..." Or no, that's not what he said. He said, "Do you know when y'all are going to be changing your menu again?" Hank looks at him and goes, "Yes," and then turns around and goes back to doing what he's doing. Right? And the person's just standing there. He's like looking around because Hank is going back to doing what he's doing.
Because he's Hank.
Because he's Hank. And so I was like sitting at my table. I was like, ask him more specifically what you want. And the guy goes, okay. He goes, excuse me, can you tell me when it's going to happen? And Hank turns around and goes, I can. And then goes back to doing what he's doing. So then the guy goes, "Could you tell me the date, please?" And Hank goes, "Absolutely." And he tells him the date. But fully committed, right?
Fully committed.
Fully committed to getting that correct date.
That's the level of a commitment that I aspire to in my... I'm not even sure what to call that. That's like physical sarcasm to a certain extent. Does that have a better name than that, really?
I don't know, but it reminds me of Mr. Chase.
That is Mr. Chase. Down to the T.
Form.
In bartender form.
Oh, man. Do you remember that with Paula?
I
Oh man.
I wasn't there, but I've heard the story and I remember.
Should I share it?
I don't know if it plays well on the radio. It really needs the visuals that go with it.
Oh man, that guy. Um, the one thing though, we were walking down the hallway one time, and I was walking with Tim, I think, and Mr. Chase is coming the opposite direction, and he stops right in front of us, and he goes, college would be great if it weren't for all the damn students.
Ah.
And then just nods and continues walking.
See, I didn't have as much experience with him as you did, but I had a class with him at one point, and it was in the upstairs computer lab where the only color printer on campus was. And we are in the middle of class when this lady comes bustling in, making a lot of racket, sets up a bunch of stuff, starts messing with the computer, and starts printing things. And he stops class, just stands there and stares at her for a while. And finally he says, we're in the middle of a class right now. And she just sort of tries to blow him off. Oh, no, I just got to do this 2,573 things and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, get out. And she's like, I need the color printer. And he says, we're having a class, get out. And she gets all flustered and gathers up her stuff and stomps out. And he stands there quietly watching her leave. And after a good, just perfect number of beats after the door shuts, he says, some days I just don't feel like being nice.
Oh, Mr. Chase was great.
He's one of the greatest
I think
of all
he
time.
actually retired.
Yeah, he's still in Alpine, though. I see him from time to time.
Yeah, what's that, like his 4th retirement?
Yeah, I wonder how much longer till he has to go back to work.
Yeah, his wife is expensive.
That's what I hear.
Have you ever met her?
No.
Ever met Miss Chase?
Not
Mrs. Chase?
that I am conscious of. I've probably encountered her at some stage because I've pretty much met everyone in Alpine at this point because of where I work.
I think they actually live in Marfa.
I see him far too often for that. There's a perfectly good grocery store in Marfa. Why would he be coming clear to Alpine to buy the 3 things he's getting?
To get away from his wife.
You're not wrong.
No, she is like the exact opposite of Mr. Chase. She is loud and really outspoken, and dresses like the gaudy purple grandmother of days gone by. More bling than Dre.
Huh.
Hmm.
I'm never gonna dress like that. Just a heads up.
Dressed like a purple grandma with more bling than Dre.
Yeah.
Well, why not?
It's not my deal,
Does it go with your beard?
It really doesn't. It totally clashes. Purple and red just aren't, and that color of red don't work.
Oh, dude, there's a guy up here in Seattle who walks around. He wears an all purple outfit, and he's dyed all his hair purple, including his beard.
Huh.
It's like a long, like narrow down to a point beard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's like the master of purple.
And I'm really not even sure how to feel about that.
I want to tell him the purple joke one day.
Which one is the purple joke?
The purple joke that goes on for nigh on eternity.
Well, don't tell it now. I don't have that much time.
I don't think I have enough that time. I cannot speak today. Did you notice that?
Well, speaking of eccentric people, that reminds me. I, for some strange reason, decided that I was going to start watching the, what's it called? Badlands, which is the show on Nat Geo about Terlingua.
There's a show about Terlingua?
Yeah. It's on Hulu, if you care to watch it, and it's called Badlands. I invented a drinking game to go with it.
Okay.
And I've never played this drinking game because I consider it to be
document
dangerous.
Because I feel like there's going to have to be documentation along with this drinking game.
Well, now, let me give you the premise of what happened here.
Okay.
Because this show, someone in their infinite wisdom thought it'd be really cool to go down to Terlingua and make sort of a reality show about all the eccentric characters that live in Terlingua.
Wait, so these are real people? Real
R-
Terlingua?
Real
Oh
Terlingua.
God.
Well, that was the idea. Okay, that is the wellspring from which this madness grew forth. But they got to Terlingua and found out no one would talk to them because it's Terlingua.
Right.
And then they found out about Glenn Phelps' murder while they were halfway into not really making a very good documentary about Terlingua, or reality show about Terlingua. And they decided, well, we should seeing as we've spent all this money for such a crappy project that we've created here because no one will talk to us, we're going to turn this into a documentary about the murder of Glenn Phelps.
Oh God, no.
Right? So it's like there's this weird like bits that are like a reality show where they're following someone around as they're doing their thing in Terlingua, and then there's these interviews with all these people. Anyways, the drinking game is anytime someone says it tore the community apart, you have to take a drink.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain you would be unable to stand by the end of the first episode.
Now is it the same clip repeated over and over?
No. Like, they
Or is
keep
it from
interviewing
different
the same 6 people over and over, and they keep repeating themselves, but it's not the same clip over and over. Because, like, they couldn't get people to let them come on their land and film anywhere, so they, got a few people that agreed to be interviewed in public places, or the few people that would agreed to be interviewed at all, and some outsiders that kind of look like they belong here, but are actually from Marfa, and, like, one random-ass person that no one knows who is. And they interviewed all these people to ad infinitum about this, and like the whole thing could have been done in a single like 1 hour long special, and it's like 6 episodes. And it's mostly just establishing shots of the desert. Not about 75% of those are not in Terlingua. It's like Fort Davis and whatnot because it's not a barren wasteland. And it's like it's so bad it's hilarious. Especially when you're somewhat familiar with the source material.
Yeah, I mean, have you spoken about this with Spud?
Not at length, only in brief. She hasn't watched it either.
What does she feel about someone trying to do a video down in Terlingua?
No, just no. Is my exact quote.
That was a really good Spud impression.
The baritone might have been a little low, but the gist of the emotion was there.
Yeah, it was.
Anyways,
like pure apathy.
This is my disclaimer to anyone who will ever listen to this and who happens to decide to watch that show. It is not representative of our community at large. Most of us are far more insane.
Oh, that's true.
The rest of us that aren't that much more insane are far more normal.
It could be worse. They could have chosen to do like a documentary down in Lajitas.
I don't think that would have been worse.
Really?
You gotta, watch just as much as you can stand of the first episode. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Like I said, you can make a drinking game of it if you need to, finish a night off of, with the vicious tequila drunk. Whatever, you're into.
Alright, whatever you're into. 2 lines of cocaine.
Marking that one on the do not enjoy list. It's really something. I think the reason I put it on was I saw it and I was like, yeah, I'll give this a look at. And I realized, hey, this is basically a documentary. I can do things in my house while listening to this because you don't actually have to watch anything.
Right.
And so on and so forth. And that's how I got started on it because I was cleaning or something.
Okay.
It's definitely weird.
I haven't been watching anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I know. It's weird. Though Krista and I last week did get to the 6th season of MASH.
Huh.
Yeah, just 7 more to go.
See, now, there's a show that I have enjoyed in the past, and I'm highly hesitant to try to watch multiple seasons of because I feel like that would be a rabbit hole from whence there would be very little chance of return.
In what way? Just like in the sheer quantity of how many episodes there are?
I'm worried that I'd
Or
really like it and just start binge watching it to the detriment of all my other activities.
it's really good.
I know, because it's a great show.
It is a great show. Though I will say this, there is a point where like I'm a person that likes to binge watch shows. There
Yeah,
is a point where you're like, okay, I'm gonna stop this for now.
it's that
Like
moment when Netflix gives you 5 seconds to decide if you want to do something with your life between episodes.
well, no, the way that MASH is like laid out, it's like you have medium drama, medium comedy for several episodes,
Right,
and then they do a really dramatic episode,
right.
and then you're like, oh god, I'm wiped out, and then you watch the very next one,
And it's funny.
and it's extremely funny
If
to like bring you back, and then at that point you're like, okay, I have to stop now.
I don't stop now, I'm going to do a whole nother season.
Right. Well, it's like it's a whole other cycle because it rotates. I think it's about every 7 to 8 episodes. It goes through one of those.
Huh.
Yeah.
So I've gotten like halfway through a bunch of shows, and like I like really like them, and so I stop because I don't want it to end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I did that with Breaking Bad, and and then I did that one with Sons of Anarchy, actually.
Weird.
Yeah,
You know, I can't do.
several other shows.
I can't do Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just doesn't interest me. I forced myself to watch 2 episodes, and I'm like, I have no connection with any of these people.
huh?
I do
guess
not
that's
wanna spend my
probably a
time
good
doing
thing.
this. Yeah. I guess
If
it's
you
a
have
good
no
thing.
connection with any of those people, it means you're probably a little bit better person than a lot of us.
I don't know, or it just means I'm a complete sociopath.
I'm thinking no. I'm thinking there's some sociopath in Walter White there.
Hmm. But he does have some emotion.
Yeah,
Some.
but it's tempered by a great deal of sociopathic behavior.
Do you know what show actually has not
Kind of.
aged well?
What show?
Cheers.
I have a sneaking suspicion that that's completely true.
Yeah,
Because
you know,
I never watched much Cheers because I wasn't really old enough
Mm-hmm.
or something, or my parents didn't care to let me watch it.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm thinking that definitely would be the kind of thing that I wouldn't want to watch.
Yeah, you know, I started watching it and I watched like the first 3 seasons and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then Coach died.
Don't know anything
And
about
then
that.
after that, huh?
Don't know anything about that.
Oh, okay, there was original. The other bartender was this old guy named Coach, and it was Sam Malone's pitching coach back when he was in playing baseball.
Huh.
And yeah, anyway, the guy died in real life, and so he died in the TV show. And then after that, I just realized how formulaic the show was.
Yeah.
Like really formulaic. And I was like, and then I fell asleep watching one of the episodes, and I was like, yep, I'm done. Yeah.
What other thing was I thinking of watching, dealing with the other day that I was like, this is super formulaic? Oh, we were talking about Clive Cussler books.
Oh, yeah. Very.
Super
Cheers is like
formulaic.
the Clive Cussler of television. That being said, I'll probably skip all the middle seasons and just watch the last season, because that's really what I want to see. The last season.
Yeah.
That, and I want to watch Night Court. I remember that being really funny, but I'm thinking it's gonna suffer for the same thing.
Could. Did you ever watch House of Cards?
That's the Netflix original with what's his name?
Kevin Spacey.
Yes.
Yes.
I've watched a couple episodes.
And then,
I was like, eh.
yeah. Like, I kind of like it. I also kind of don't. I don't know how to feel about it, I guess.
Because Kevin Spacey?
Because Kevin Spacey is a hell of an actor.
Yes, he is.
But that chick in that show makes you want to, like, just beat your own head in with a rock or something.
You know what I like? I like the other side of Kevin Spacey, but not Kevin Spacey. Oh God, I can't believe his name just left me.
Gene
He's in the
Hackman.
black. No,
I
no.
thought we were talking about people that have been, well, Lex Luthor.
Oh.
Sorry.
There's a rabbit hole. No, he's in the Blacklist, and he did the voice of Ultron in the Age of Ultron.
James Spader.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that guy.
James freaking Spader. The Blacklist needs to come back on.
I think the new season started, didn't it?
Maybe it's not on Hulu. I don't know. I'll have to poke around.
Fun show though. Fun show.
Really good show.
James Spader, amazing.
James Spader went from a pretty good actor to an amazing actor at some point. Like somehow I missed James Spader's entire career in between Stargate and The Blacklist.
That's probably a good thing.
But like Stargate was okay. I liked it when I was a kid. And The Blacklist is amazing. And you're just like, wait, where's this guy been?
That's the same guy? What?
I know, right?
No. I also love his choice of hats.
Yeah, it's a good hat.
Yeah. All of his hats are good.
They really need
to
bring back the hat in general fashion.
In a good way. Not in like a douchey way, but in like a good way.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole term right now for like fedora bros or something like that. I don't know.
I can't even with fedoras. Everyone thinks they look like Harrison Ford, and they don't.
I wear a fedora.
Yeah, but
I wear several fedoras.
You don't look like Harrison Ford in exactly the right way.
I don't want to look like Harrison Ford.
That's what I mean. It's like there's so many people that put on the fedora and think they look like Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones when he's wearing the suit, like at the ends of him, and he looks all cleaned up and fancy and shit, and the fedora just makes her and totally makes the outfit. And there's all these people that are wearing a fedora with jeans and a grimy t-shirt and think that makes them look suave and dapper and shit.
No, I'm so suave and dapper. I have a fedora and I'm wearing my OU shirt.
Yeah,
Yay.
there you go. It's
Yay.
You are not Don Draper. You are wearing a fedora in a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, I can finally watch the last season of Mad Men because it's on Netflix now.
I got started on Mad Men and I'm like, this is one of those shows that I'm going to need to get the flu so I can watch all of it at once.
It's good.
That's kind of how I watch a lot of shows is, my once annual flu. I have to spend a week at home just waiting.
Spend a week at home, guys. Everyone, I'm sorry, I'm sick.
Yeah. Well, it's when I do it, I gotta spend a week at home, guys. I'm pretty sick. Yeah. Sorry for that, folks. But yeah, it's pretty much how it is. Sorry. And, it's when I finally get sick, I finally get sick.
I need to get better. Only cure is binge watching Netflix.
Because I usually at that point sound like I've been gargling gravel and chain smoking cigarettes since I was 2.5.
Oh! So I found a great website today, thanks to John Oliver.
I forgot who John Oliver is, but that doesn't matter.
Correspondent from the Daily Show now has his own show.
Okay.
And he did a clip of sloths in a bucket.
Aww.
Yeah, from slothville.com.
Aww.
No, you have no idea. Slothville.com has tons of videos of sloths.
Did you see all those PSAs of the sloths on drugs? The anti-marijuana sloth PSAs from Australia?
What happened?
You haven't seen these?
No.
Oh, they were all the rage on the internet because they're hilarious. So, they put together these commercials where the one character that's on drugs is portrayed by a sloth. And all the other people are people. And, it's to show how drugs make you all slow and loopy and just whatever, man. Except with all of their great intentions, it backfired horribly, and instead of making drugs seem bad, it made drugs seem hilarious.
So you have a person. Okay, so they dressed up a sloth like a person.
I've only seen
Like,
a
how did
couple of
they
them.
do
I
this?
can't completely remember. It's been a while since this whole rampage went through, but yeah, basically.
And then it was like, hey, John, you want to go to the store? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Stuff like that, yeah. It's comedy gold and makes drugs sound pretty great.
Oh my God. I want to find these videos and share them with everyone
Yeah,
all over again.
they'll appreciate that, I'm sure.
But sloths.
The
Sloths
sloths.
are cute.
Yeah.
Sloths are... Evidently, stone sloths just as cute.
Sloths are one of those animals. Here's an interesting thing because I grew up watching National Geographic documentaries. You know how
Okay.
sloths seem slow and weird and stuff on trees and land?
Mm-hmm.
Well, once a year, the Amazon rainforest pretty much floods because the Amazon floods itself. And sloths take this opportunity to swim from tree to tree. And a sloth in the water is a slow motion ballet of gracefulness and ease.
Oh, I'm sure.
It
Aw.
is completely surreal.
Now I want to see that.
Yeah, that's the thing I miss from the old school National Geographic days. Because, like, Nat Geo nowadays is whatever it's that show about Terlingua. But back in the day, they used to make, National Geographic presents the Amazon, and National Geographic presents elephants, and so on and so forth. And they produce, a good hour-long show, which you could buy on VHS or DVD to enjoy at your leisure, about a slew of actual interesting things from around the world, like the original, like the magazine had, articles about things about caves and mountains and rainforests and indigenous peoples and interesting animals.
Huh.
And now they have a show about weirdos not talking to the people making a show in Terlingua.
Oh, so okay. I'm sorry. Last TV show topic, because cute animals and interesting documentaries. There is a documentary. It's either on Hulu or Netflix. It's one of the two. Called "Born to Be Wild."
Born to be wild. Sorry.
It is narrated by God.
Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
Took me a split second there.
And it covers these two places. One place is in Africa, and they rescue baby elephants that have been abandoned because their moms have been poached, and they bring them up, and then they integrate them with other baby elephants that were orphaned, and they create new herds and then release them back into the wild.
Well, that sounds like a worthwhile activity.
And this really cool, like, graduating process.
Huh.
And the other part of it is, it's like another part of the world. This lady has been rescuing chimps because their rainforest homes have been being cut down. So they rescue the chimps, and they get them up to health, and they allow them to grow, and they do the same type of graduating process to slowly get them ready for the wild, and then they release them into a protected reserve, just like the elephants.
That's interesting.
It's really good. I highly recommend it.
I'll add that to my mental watch list until I find it again.
Until I find it again. Do you have a quote?
Do I have a quote? Of course not. Why would I be prepared?
I have a quote.
Okay. You use your quote while I find a quote.
Okay. I have a loyalty that runs in my bloodstream. When I lock into someone or something, you can't get me away from it because I commit that thoroughly. That's in friendship. That's a deal. That's a commitment. Don't give me paper. I can get the same lawyer that drew it up to break it. But if you shake my hand, that's for life. Jerry Lewis.
Huh.
Yeah, pretty powerful.
That is.
Did you find something? That was a pretty long one. Or you have thoughts about this one? You want to delve into it? You want to talk about how paper's shit and your hand means everything?
I know you don't watch this type of show. This is going to be weird because it actually ties to a show I watch. But there's a show called The Prophet with Marcus Lemonis. He's an entrepreneur, owns the good... What the heck is it? It's a big-time RV superstore, warehousey like type thing. Doesn't matter. The point is he made his money in this business, and he's basically... Probably, I would assume his lawyer told him to diversify his funds, and so he's got a show where he travels the country, going to businesses that have applied to be on the show that are struggling in some way, and he, lets them show him what they do, and he decides whether or not he's going to make them an offer to buy a portion of the business and then help them correct their problems. And where was I going with this? All right.
I don't know.
Anyways. And his whole thing is people, process, and product. If you've got good people and a good process and a good product, you're going to be a successful business. And you have to have all three of those things or you're not going to make it. And he's, so far, at least as far as they can portray on the show, seems to be right. And I have an inkling that he probably is right because he's done well for himself. Anyhow, all of his deals are done on a handshake for the camera, basically. And people have gone back on it and said, and he gets mad. He's like, you shook my hand. We were going to do this, and now you're changing the deal. And he's gotten out of things he's done. People have said, agreed to them in good faith on a handshake and then totally gone back on it. And he says, fine, the deal's off. If you're not going to live up to your word, we're not going to do this. Because he places more on the handshake than anything written down.
Yeah.
Which, I agree with. If you shake someone's hand and agree to do something, you darn sure better be ready to get it done.
I'm with you, 100%.
We've built something into that gesture over the course of the centuries that it means an awful lot to a lot of people.
As it should. As it should. So, I'm going to have to say... with all things considered this week, how barnstorm of a shitstorm it's been, and with the discussion of books last week and this time television shows that may or may not have aged well, I would say that my jaded meter is at a 4.
A mere 4?
A mere 4.
Well, that's pretty darn good.
I think it was the sloth talk. Because I have images of swimming sloths in my mind.
They are cute.
And that's just cute and amazing. It's cute and amazing.
Well, I think I'm probably right in there with you. Maybe a 3.5 or a 4. I'm doing pretty decent.
Fantastic. Well, nothing really to discuss about that.
Nope. On the days you're not jaded, you're not jaded. And that pretty much means everything's all right.
When you're not jaded, you're not jaded. All right, then. I think that's enough. I think I'm good. Are you good?
Right. I think we've got it today.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jacob.
I'm still Danielle.
And this has been the Proteus Podcast. Have a good night.
Have a good evening.